Welcome to the Media Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vadebonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
Kenton, you can see I'm wearing my NASA hoodie, one of several pieces of clothing I have that has this logo on it. And it's an exciting week for space news because we have the Artemis space mission. Artemis 2 is currently on its way to the moon. Have you been watching any of this media coverage?
Well, Dan, I don't have to because I take a D16 bus, which takes you around the circumference of the moon before you get to, just kidding. But I like the part where there's a Canadian involved.
Yes,
but no,
yes.
I have not watched any of the other stuff.
Well, I tell you this, it is as admittedly a little bit of a letdown as far as the visuals go so far, because when you think about it on like the conceptual level, it's kind of a big deal because it's more than 50 years since anybody's been there, right? 1972 was the last time they went to the moon, and it was technology was completely different. We didn't have internet, we were still using film and like all the kind of and no microchips or anything like that. It was all like very, very basic stuff. It's a miracle they got there in the first place in the time they did, right? That whole thing was just kind of a miracle, that whole Apollo thing. But so you imagine it's going to be a lot better, meaning that we're going to see a lot better visuals, a lot better experience for us as the people staying behind, right? And so far it's been pretty much the same as any space mission that I've seen. It's been the launch, and I was all excited. I got home and I'm like making my kids watch it with me. And like this is like when I was, and to be fair, like the big deal is when they actually land on it. They're not even landing on it this time. They're just gonna circle around it and come back. It's just a test flight. So it's not the real big one. But I got all excited about it. The rocket launched. We had like they've got like a GoPro on the outside of it, so you could see like the worst angle ever of like one of the fins of the rocket and like part of the sun, and that's it. Like it's horrible angle, and it's always breaking up. They cannot seem like maybe it's because it was going so fast or something, but they couldn't get a clear like signal going. So there's been issues so far, but I'm still excited about it.
What season of For All Mankind are we on? That's what I was wondering.
Oh. Well,
because season 3, they're ready for Mars, I think.
Yes, that's right. You're good point. It's a very good point. This is before the moon base. So this is season 2. Before they started watching Newhart. Remember that season where they watched Newhart on the moon? That was great, actually. I love that part of the show.
I gave up on that show when the trip to Mars became less important than the scheming among the astronauts or whatever. I was like, what? It's a soap opera now. Everybody's sleeping with everyone else's wife,
I'm surprised they're not turning this into a reality TV show in some way.
Oh,
but the interviews, I saw a bit of an interview with some of the crew, and it looks just like any other space interview where they're all at different angles and they're smiling and their hair is all big up and they're like, yeah, we're in space, and they're excited to go. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting. But I also think it's interesting that all the news agencies are going like full 24 hours live stream on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere. This will tie in because we're going to talk about TikTok today. Like they're really embracing the live stream nature of this whole thing because people will sit there and watch it, right? They'll watch the live feed, they're hoping for something bad to happen. I don't know, but nothing bad will happen. We know that it's going to be fine. But anyway, it's an interesting time. This hasn't happened for a while. This type of media coverage, I think.
Well, I'm actually surprised by it. Like even when I went to class, the students are like, "What did you think of the thing or whatever?" I was like, "What thing?" And they go, the launch. And I was like, "Yeah, been there, done that." I mean, I don't know. I like why?
No, you don't.
I do have my grandmother's newspaper, the Vancouver whatever, with man walks on moon or whatever. I was like, "Oh, I'll never throw that out because it's just cool to have."
Yeah.
The newspaper, but I just don't. I don't know. Like I like outer space. I'm a Star Wars fan, but but I just don't. I don't know. I do not feel the pull into this mission the way clearly you do, other people do. I don't know why. Maybe it's because life here on Earth, the headlines from planet Earth aren't that great. and so on one hand, I can understand why people are looking to the stars for something better. I also think that there's something else I like about this mission. So I said I like that there's a Canadian on it. I noticed when that president guy made his terrible speech earlier in the week, he led with the astronauts. He left out the part how there's a Canadian on board. And he also left out the part about the diversity of the astronauts on board. And I think in those ways, it's nice to see that stuff going on When you have somebody who's like dividing everyone, it's very nice to see people coming together for the mission. So I definitely like that part of the mission. I'm just not as excited about them looping around the moon so much. I don't know. I don't understand why that's big news.
Because we haven't left orbit in that time, literally. Like, of course, we put stuff up in orbit all the time, satellites and stuff, but nobody's gone beyond that in this time. And yeah, it's the first female astronaut doing this, the first man of color, and then the first non-American to go beyond orbit. Because only Americans have ever gone to the moon, right? That's the only people who've done this. So I do like that there is a Canadian there. And he seems to be perfectly fitting with our stereotype of being very nice and polite. And he's doing that well.
There is one thing missing, and that is Chris Hadfield weaseling his way into this somehow. And I've been waiting for it. Like, I have never seen a former astronaut capitalize more on having been in space for a brief period of time than him. So I'm fully expecting a walk-on, a special cameo at some point where he comes walking out. It'll be AI or something, and he'll come walking out and sell us.
I did see an interview with him on CBC. Like, they had the report from Cape Canaveral, and they're okay, we're going to go now to Chris Hadfield. They had like a 5-minute interview with him about what's going through their minds right now. And he only went up 3 times, but he actually, but he also was up there for the longest. He set the record for the longest time in orbit. So of course he still holds that.
Ground control to Major Tom. Like if I ever have to see that video again.
This is Major Tom to ground control. I've left forevermore, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today.
When did David Bowie die? Oh no, David Bowie lived to see Chris Hadfield singing that. Yeah, that's right. I think that they needed his approval on the rights to show that. So
Godspeed to the Canadian and the 3 Americans winging their way to the moon to look at I bet you honestly, because probably we've had cameras pointed at the moon, we probably can get just as good shots from here that we can get like up close. Not even gonna get good photos. Like, it's not even gonna be any better in the photos. It's just gonna be close to the moon. That's it. They're just going to get there for the first time in a long time. That's all it is.
Oh, there's one thing that I've predicted to students in my ad class for years. And I said, in our lifetime, we will see the Nike swoosh on the moon. It has to happen.
Well, they announced the moon base, right? So they need a sponsor for that moon base.
They need a Red Bull, probably Red Bull.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh boy. Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, jeez. You drank a Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings.
What should we do?
Well, nothing. Come back to Earth and we'll shoot the whole thing in a studio.
Okay.
Let's move on to our main topic today. I want to talk about TikTok, or viral video, or vertical video. What do you want to call it? That format of media, because you have our students doing their what do you call it? What's this assignment called?
It's a content marketing assignment in which they pretend that they're an influencer, and this year is the first year that they can choose a local client, which is into the music, or a national brand, which is Kellogg's, international brand, which is Kellogg's. I set it up as Kellogg's Canada, but Kellogg's Canada is really like an operational kind of thing. I did speak to somebody there, but one thing that you don't know unless you're doing this assignment is Kellogg's has broken into 2 companies, and now it's been acquired. It's in recent time, and so it's very confusing. And now apparently it's called WK Kellogg Co. without a period at the end. So it's in a state of flux.
Is that why Jerry Seinfeld did the Pop-Tarts movie?
Yeah. That's not Kellogg's though, is it?
It's Kellogg's.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I've forgotten. Okay. But so they choose one of those. There's 3 parts to it. There's a brief that they have to put together based on that kind of stuff they discover. about the brand, the product, the business. And the second part is links to 5 TikTok videos. They can post as many as they want, but give me your best 5. Or a single YouTube video or YouTube shorts or 5 YouTube shorts. It's also acceptable to choose Vimeo for this assignment, but no Instagram. No Instagram. No Instagram for this. You're on it. So we don't, who cares?
I like that because you're forcing them
Yeah.
out of their comfort zones
Right.
into platforms they would not normally choose. Vimeo is a bit of a stretch, I'll say, because I don't know anybody who uses Vimeo.
But
But
for
I
a media productions, someone who specializes in media production.
For that,
It's nicer looking. It's nicer
It's
looking.
nice
No
for your
commercials.
nice for your portfolio, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
that's right. Exactly. The perfect website for your portfolio. So that's the assignment. And what the last part is, give me some analytics, give me an analysis. You can look at analytics, you can look at artistic value, you can ask some questions like, why did this one do well, but this one didn't? How come the one I like didn't do as well as the one I don't like? How
This is
come
great.
somebody did one different or similar to mine in the other class, but mine did better? How come? What role does timing have to play? And then I get them to download TikTok Studio and or YouTube Studio apps so that they can unlock more data and see what kind of data is available there. So it's sort of like walking them through what would happen in real life. And then we look for other things like, does the brand like or comment on you? Did they follow you? Let me see what else. Oh, are you a seasoned TikTok user? Are you brand new to TikTok? Like there's things like that might impact what happens.
also,
So it's all of that stuff.
Difference between, so they can choose either or TikTok or
Yeah.
Into the Music or Kellogg's. And do you specify Kellogg's cereal? Because they all seem to be doing cereal.
I said any brand under the Kellogg's banner is fair game.
Oh.
And
They think it's all cereal.
well, you know what? One of the things that I've discovered is the mishmash of official Kellogg's accounts across every media. And it's like Kellogg's Germany sometimes posts on Facebook. Kellogg's Holland sometimes posts on Pinterest. And you're just like, oh, it's such a mixed up and hard to track thing. Kellogg's Canada doesn't post anything. Kellogg's US has commented on 2 students' videos. Kellogg's Rice Krispies has its own account that commented on 1 student's video. Kellogg's Corn Flakes is a separate account. Sometimes Special K is a separate account. You're just like, what is even going on? So there's many decisions for Kellogg's that the students can make. There's fewer decisions for Into the Music because basically we met the owner and he told us, he gave us all the information we need, blah, 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 like just laid it out for us. So in some ways Into the Music we maybe had some information given to us. With Kellogg's, there's acquisitions and everything's in flux. So it's more difficult to figure out what's going on.
But they do have access to the client with the local client. That's the difference. That they are like, because I tell you, at the national level, at the level of Kellogg's, there is no personal interactions. It is them. I've seen a little bit of this. When I was at CTV, I would manage their Instagram account, and they did have a lot of followers on that. So because it was a big account, we would get messages from these content marketing agencies, right, that would probably try to put influencers together with brands. And it is all done by messaging. It's not done through face-to-face meetings. So I think it's good that they have, like, some of the students I've seen are like interviewing the owner of the people who work there and getting them to do like their favorite albums and doing stuff like that. Some of them are getting really creative with the record, the physical record, the picking this up, and this is like really emphasizing that this is a physical media. I'm really liking that. I got to say, overall, I'm preferring the Into the Music ones to the Kellogg's ones, just because I think they're more, you can do a lot more with that. I think these students should be thinking about more than cereal. I got to say that. I thought you said specifically cereal because they're all doing cereal. I'm like, that guys, Kellogg's makes so many other things.
No, cereal bars are fair game. Like there's things like that.
But they're all doing, a lot of them were doing just Fruit Loops. So I thought it was a specific to Fruit Loops for some reason.
You know what? I told them, I went to the supermarket. I'm like, and I said to them, look, I really want these to be Canadian things. Just think, and so I was like, so I went to the grocery store and there's 2 two Kellogg's cereals that are specifically Canadian. One is Fruit Loops. Oh, I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head, but there's two that are labeled in the supermarket with the Canadian flag. And in fact, Canadian Fruit Loops are famous for having different colored Fruit Loops because of the food dye and sugar requirements are different in Canada than what they are in the US.
Corn Pops.
So-
Corn Pops is the other one.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is. And then there's some question about a third one. Anyway, and it's like I only go to Sobeys mostly and occasionally Co-op, but apparently if you go to wherever Superstore, then maybe there's another like Kellogg's Crave with a K. I think that's a brand too.
Chocolate cereal.
Oh, okay. And special
They're not even pretending anymore.
Special K, which was a big thing when I was a kid. Like I remember parents loved Special K for some reason. But that's their diet cereal or healthy eating cereal, I guess, is tied to that. So there's all kinds of things that they can do. And as usual, and I even said, like in your, you want to define your target audience in your brief. And sometimes things like once you get onto TikTok, what you thought your target audience is probably not your target audience or might not be. So I'm like, go back. If it looks like what you're doing is for like young adults, then go back and change your target audience. Like make it right for the videos that you're doing. And by definition, they get sillier and sillier as people get comfortable with the app. They start posting more and more. There's like some students who've never been on there who are like they're like they've become obsessed with it in just a few days.
Well, but that's what happens when you get on this thing. That again, I love this assignment because it's forcing them to do that. It's kind of the same idea behind the podcasting stuff I do because it's just forcing them into the platform and to absorb it and to learn about it. And TikTok, this is what happened to me. It sparked that like, ooh, this is fun. And especially if you get something going viral, that'll get the dopamine going and get you interested in it, even if it's something really dumb. And then you'll try and copy that a million times, and then it gets gradually lower and lower. Like when I started doing my bin picks, my DVD bin thing, that used to get me hundreds of thousands of views, those videos. And now it's like, I'm lucky if I can get 5,000 on one of those. And by the way, the bin's gone. I think I might not be able to do that anymore because the bin has officially been retired at my Walmart. But you do learn a lot by doing this more. So I like that you're giving them like kind of free rein to post as much as possible so they can try something. And if it doesn't work, they can try something again, maybe adjust it or do something different. They can also I really do recommend just get on the platform and start following people that you like. You will be able to find anything you like on this platform. The whole I really hate when I find people who are have zero, they're not following anybody, like 0 or 2 following, like they're not really there for the product or for the platform. They're there to repurpose their content from other places. So if you want to go on TikTok, get to know TikTok. And I would say that YouTube Shorts is a different animal. YouTube Shorts, I'm not sure yet what's going on with that. I post my stuff there. Sometimes it gets really, really good views. Sometimes it gets crazy amounts of views. And I'm like, what? But there's no comments or it doesn't get the same kind of interaction or engagement that I get on TikTok. So I don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah. At this point, I think I'm only aware of one student who has chosen YouTube to do a longer video. I say so it could be YouTube Shorts and you could do 5 of those. Or I said, if you do one single YouTube video, post it on your channel or whatever, then it needs to be minimum 5 minutes. Then you're doing a long form thing. And so I have some indication of what that student's doing, though I haven't seen it yet. So I'm not going to say anything about it until I do, but most students will take TikTok. But I've also noticed I've tried to do stuff with TikTok at the beginning of the year, and students are so reluctant before they know anybody and before they know their teachers and before they know that it's not easy to get them to do it. And sometimes I'll do it as an add-on, for a bonus mark, do it. But even sometimes, if it's only 1 mark, then at the beginning of the year, even students will say no to the bonus mark and just not do it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, when they all know each other and they know their teachers and they know all of that, and it's kind of let's go, we can have fun. We can be comfortable around one another, and it takes a year to get to that point. Now I'm seeing sides of you'll have a quiet student in class, and then you see them on TikTok and they're yelling in the school or they're running. like doing stuff like that, and you're just like, well, good, look how comfortable they are, and look how far they've come in just a year. So that, like, there's a bunch of reasons to do it. And I think the idea that content marketing can be something useful and entertaining, it can be about a subject as opposed to like a sell for the brand. It doesn't need to be a sell for the brand. It can be something, it can be about an issue. It can be about collecting music, for instance.
Yeah, it's an interesting, and I thought about doing it, I didn't. When's the due date for this, by the way?
Well, Dan, there's something, in fact, that I was going to talk to you about, and that is we have, every year we've done You at Your Desk with Baby Yoda, and we haven't, there's only one more week left in the assignment.
Okay.
And so it has to be like, we got to do something with, well, it could be, I guess, either Kellogg's or Into the Music.
You could like Baby Yoda into the music.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. We could do something like that, or we could, or once again, you're listening to your music and Grogu steals it or something, and then is bopping to the tunes.
We actually have turntables in the radio station.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So we want to get like him actually sitting there with the record player.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, we'll do something. But I was even thinking about doing something for my own channel, just like like I do movies, right? So I would still try and figure out like how would I tie this in? Like it's obviously physical media. I would do like, I think I would probably do more of a vlog style thing, which I have seen students do. Like some of them are doing stuff like that. And I would definitely say this year more than other years, the students are really getting into it. Like more, I would say they're really embracing this assignment and doing a good job of like just putting themselves out there, which we have not seen for a while. It's been a bit of a upward battle, I think, to get these students to come out of their shells. But this year's group is really responding well to this, I think.
No, I agree. And every time I go to class, I say, keep doing it. Like the assignment's due next week. You can write your analytics analysis and then do an update at the end of it, like update and the assignment, and go, all right, well, last week when I looked at it, it was this, and now it's this, or just like provide just a little more insight maybe in the last week that you've got, and keep posting stuff, because you never know if something, and the other weird thing that happens is if you're posting about a brand, sometimes it goes like the algorithm actually likes it a little more if you have something like that to focus on.
One thing I figured out about this, I should mention this, I've kind of figured out when it comes to, like, for example, or promotional videos for podcasts, like posting a clip from this podcast, I no longer will put the podcast image in the video, because that kind of stuff, it doesn't like still static images or designed images like logos. It thinks it's an ad. The algorithm thinks it's an ad, so it thinks you should be paying for that. That's really what it's trying to do when it quashes that stuff. So if it's got that, those don't do well. When I post just a clip of us talking and I say in the description, this is from our podcast, that's all I need to do with that kind of stuff. So there's like minimal production kind of helps in a lot of ways with these kinds of things. Whereas before, like a couple years ago, I wouldn't even think of that. You got to put the podcast brand on there, right? But now I'm thinking, no, you don't. You just give them the clip, give them the content, and if they want to go and look it up, they can, right? That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's not being as pushy, but also like having to find like, this is content, this is advertising. I think that's what the algorithm wants us to do. But everyone's going to try and get it for free. Nobody's going to want to pay for it. Right.
That's for sure. And sometimes, when I post the jobs links every week, the communications jobs, sometimes I'll use images that are parodies of ads, or I'll have a line that's a parody of an ad. Or like one time it was the picture that was outside. We used to have a store at the college called the Mercantile with the famous hot dogs. Yes. And it had the photo of a hot dog saying something. I can't remember what it was. So I took a photo of that and I posted it, and I said, the classic joke about don't steal any wieners or something. And I posted it with the jobs, and there were 2 social media platforms that didn't let me post it because they thought it was an ad. And I think it was.
Oh, you sure they didn't think it was a wiener?
No. It said for commercial something. I got like a specific, like for commercial things like this, you need to do that, or you need to flag it as an ad or something, is what I got. And I'm like, oh, I just changed it. I changed the image on those platforms, but I think it was Threads. Threads is highly sensitive to weird things, like really weird. Like I see all kinds of horrible content on there all the time. And last week I posted a picture of the new album cover of Robin next to the new album cover of Morrissey, where they're both going, oh, they look exuberant. And so I posted those two photos next to each other because they look they're similar album covers. And then Thread said, "You're encouraging dangerous behavior." I'm like, these are well-known, like your algorithm's terrible because these are well-known album covers. So I think Threads, and I think the other one might have actually been LinkedIn that didn't like it, that thought I was trying to advertise something. So LinkedIn only likes it if you say so proud, so blessed, so gobsmacked, so honored, so humbled. It loves that.
And if you pay for their premium, whatever that is, they keep bugging me to buy. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. I think, and speaking of platforms, like I keep thinking about, when is this, like even TikTok's changed quite a bit in the last little while, in that you had the whole American part of it spun off into a different company to satisfy their law in some weird way, and so that is now somehow different. And I don't think anything changed for me, but I keep hearing complaints about how it's changed for the Americans. Like it's not as good for them now because apparently the algorithm has to retrain or something when they have to turn it. I don't know. It's a very, very strange situation. But so I have a lot less people from the States that are posting. A lot of them have kind of left the platform after that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, and also when it changed hands, the app went down for a day or something, and people accused it of stealing their personal info and stuff, and et cetera, and that always never has a positive impact. But I mean, all of us sort of have mixed feelings about these platforms, and probably TikTok is the most fun one to use, probably where I see the least amount of I should actually tell you, Dan, I got a warning this week. Not a warning, but not like, I wasn't a caution about what I'm posting, but TikTok gave me saying something like, this comment could be harmful to your mental health. Have you ever got one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first time I ever got one. So I'm like, I want to see what might be harmful to my mental health. And you'll love it. You'll love the only thing that it's ever said might be harmful to me. I click on the thing and a person says, "You look like an angry Ace Burpee." That was the comment.
I mean, they're not wrong.
No, exactly. I'm like, my mental health.
Well, maybe they thought you were a really big fan of Ace Burpee and you would be just decimated by that. No, you would be happy about that. And I mean, how does the algorithm know who Ace Burpee is? It knows local celebrities.
Like, it probably looks at the words Ace Burpee together and goes, this is a terrible insult.
or that guy's had a lot of hate directed at him, so they flag anything. Like, could be all kinds of.
Maybe I never thought of that.
Or even just the word angry could have triggered it, right? There's all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But it's also inconsistent, because I was just looking at one of my videos. Every once in a while, I get these videos, the movie review videos that keep going viral, and they'll re-viral again. I don't know if they catch a virus again, but they go popular again. And one of them is Free Willy 2. I did all the Free Willy movies. I did all 4 of them. There are 4 movies. And Free Willy 2 is got more views by a long shot. And I, like, for a while there, I would try to avoid using words like kill and death and killer, because I thought that would quash, right? You're laughing, but it's like, you think this is a real thing. But I say killer whale in that video, and that's got like tens of thousands of views. So that's not an issue. But maybe because I said killer whale. But if you use words like that, sometimes the video doesn't do as well, and you think, am I getting shadow banned? Like, what's going on there? And I just wish they were a little more clear about that stuff. And if they could, like, why can't they get the algorithm to tell the difference between me talking about a movie and someone genuinely talking about, like, doing that to people? Like, I can't understand why they can't tell context, right? It's weird.
And how is it possible that I see horrifying things every day across social media, like blatantly violent and racist things that I see all the time? You report that stuff, and maybe everyone's just given up on reporting it, but once in a while I'll go like, come on, I'll report the thing. Then you get the thing back. This in no way violates our policy. But the email that comes back to you comes back in 1 second. So it's like, there's nobody looking at this. This is like an AI something that's just like, we'll err on the side of that. But every once in a while you post something that is completely fine. Like, and even how many expressions have we got? Like, that person's dead to me, or like things like that, where you're like, no, but there's no violence implied. There's no threats. It's just an expression.
I will never say the word unalive in a video. I'm not going to do that. But have you heard that term, unalive? No.
Oh, that's what they say when they mean.
Yeah, they were unalived.
Oh,
That's what they get around. Now they're gonna start, the algorithms are gonna figure out that that's what that means, and it's gonna start shadow banning that one. But it is a very strange situation. I wish the rules were a little more clear. I wish it was more consistent about like, here's what can go, here's what will get more reach than as opposed to other stuff. I'm right now in the middle of a project. I'm doing 50 years of movies. So I'm posting a movie for every year of my life. It's going to turn 50 this year.
wow.
And so I post, but it's all kinds of movies. I'm not really following. It's basically what movie from this year. And I'm looking at the year and saying, okay, what do I want to watch today? And that's basically what it is. But some of these are doing really well. Airplane doing great. That one did really well as far as my videos go. Which one didn't though? Hold on, let me see here. Which one was this? Oh, Alien. But maybe it's because I've talked about Alien before. Airplane did great. Animal House. So some of these are doing really well, but other ones are like getting nothing. And I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Yeah, it's interesting to contemplate. I think that's one of the things that makes other things that makes the assignment good is
Yeah.
I said to students, like, yeah, like I give them a huge list of analytics and I go, like, look, not all of these are important. And in fact, most clients just want to like the creative. That's really, that's the most important thing. If they like the creative, then you've got it made. But asking yourself why, that is perfect for TikTok. Why am I seeing what I am seeing?
And I mean, you might not be able to figure it out, but you might get a better idea. And then you might start to formulate a theory. And then you might be able to prove that theory next time you post something and try it again to see if it works. So I'm still having a great time on it though. I think, and what I like about this assignment is that you post more. You start posting more on TikTok. And I enjoy seeing your face, your angry, spurpy face on TikTok.
It's all shtick mostly, but when I did stand up, the other comics always said to me, "I like it when you get angry about nothing." They said that's the best. And he's like, "You're all mad like about the chicken fingers you got the other day or whatever." And it's like, who cares? Kind of thing. They're like, "Yeah, do more of that.
Okay.
Get angry about stupid things that nobody cares about but you." And it's like, that's like my D16 bus. It's like the same thing. Nobody cares. I know nobody cares. But honestly, does it grind my gears? Yeah, it really does. But I understand the comedy as well, that in the fact that very few people care about what my bus situation is every day.
Some students came across one of my articles. They're like, "Did you work for CTV?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they said they found an article I wrote about the transit system sucking some years ago. It was before they redid. It was like, why aren't they doing anything about it? That was the article. That's funny. Anyway, well, I've been thinking a lot about like how to do something different with TikTok because I've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time, so I want to diversify and try something else. I also want to start doing stuff specifically for YouTube, longer form content, like you asked the students to do. I think that would be something I want to learn more about that. So that's what
Me too. I totally agree with you on that point. And the more like I want to get into that too. And it's been when I'm inspired by people who do interesting videos on YouTube, who don't, without bells and whistles, without fancy, like whatever, the screen grab for the what do you call that again? For the cover? I can't think of the name of it. The screen capture that you use. What's that?
Screen grab. It's called.
Is that what it's called? Okay, I thought it had another name in YouTube, but whatever. Okay, like thumbnail. There, yeah, I couldn't think of that. Thumbnail, duh. But I said duh in class about myself, and everybody laughed. But that's the only way you can say it in class is like if you are the person that fell down or fell on your butt or something. But I like the fact, like, there's a guy that I watch on there named John Heaton. He just sits down. He even walks in and sits down in front of the laptop, and you're kind of like, he didn't even edit that out. And he just talks about some album. He doesn't even play you the song. He just holds it up. Here's the set list the other day that I saw. He holds it up to the screen. And I'm like, yet I watch his videos from beginning to end because I'm actually interested in what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I want to get into it too. Sometimes I think that's what you do when you retire. Well, you have to, every morning you're like, what the hell? I don't have anything
We're
to
going
do.
to rant about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a great one from Hank Green. Hank Green is kind of one of the founders of this format in the Vlog Brothers, and they used to do like they had the limit of 5 minutes for their videos, but now they've kind of scrapped that rule, so now they can go as long as they want. So his are like 20 minutes or so, and he did a really good one speaking of the moon mission about how Apollo 11 was the worst moon mission as far as accomplishing anything. Like, the only thing it did do was land on the moon, and that's pretty much it. Like, there was no science going on, no other things that they had accomplished, and so he kind of went through all that. It's very, very well done, but it is, a lot of it is like, it's straight to camera. It does feel unscripted. I'm trying to figure out what he does. Like, that's, and again, I'm going to try and replicate this. I'm going to do more of this stuff in the summertime when I have time, but try and replicate that like idea of being able to speak off the top of your head, but say something coherent, and then being able to edit it together. Like, I'm sure there's cuts in this guy. Like, he edits it out. Does he have little jump cuts, or is it all?
No, it is a free flowing.
One long take.
It is one long take. There are no cuts whatsoever. And once in a while, one time he posted a video of himself going, the Beatles, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, balls. And he walks off the camera because he screwed up. And I was like, okay. So he does screw up and then start again.
Yeah.
But mostly, and he makes no effort to try to, to kind of like, lean into the camera or flashy stuff of any kind. Like, he just sits down. He's like, all right. So they released Beatles reissue. Here it is. Here's the track list. How does it compare to the other ones? And he like holds those, and he just holds up the records as he's talking about it. And you're like, if you're, and it's true, if you're interested in the topic, then you'll listen, then you'll watch the whole thing. And it is like an audio podcast that you're watching, but you start to feel a kinship with the personalities, as opposed to, I don't need bells and whistles and entertainment all the time. Like, just an interesting person who has some depth about them. Yeah.
That means something in that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look into that stuff and see what we can come up with. In the meantime, we'll get Grogu down into the music or feed him some
Yes.
loops. I don't know.
We'll figure out something this week. It's a short week at school too, but we'll
Fruit Loops, add into the music, and then go from there.
yeah, I'll give it some thought over the weekend. Maybe there's something I could bring a record to school. Like, there's something we could do.
We have one Simon and Garfunkel record in the radio station right now.
Oh, there is one there.
There's one there, yeah.
Oh, is it the Sounds of Silence? Because that'd be a funny thing for Grogu to be listening to.
I don't know if it's that one. It's just got a picture of them on the front, so I don't know what it is. Which one it is. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Okay, let's move on to recommendations this week. What have you been watching lately?
Okay, I am gonna recommend once in a while I do a PBS show on Sunday nights, and I heard that this show was great. I saw it in the British press, and it's a remake of The Count of Monte Cristo, the oldest story ever.
Yeah.
There's been movies, hundreds of movies, books.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those, like, it's evergreen. It's like The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like, you never stop hearing about it.
My daughter is doing it in school right now.
Oh, well, the show. Well, then this is an especially good recommendation. So the first episode comes and goes, and it's got like a really high rating on IMDb. I can't remember what it was. I looked and I was like, oh yeah, I better record this. I think it's like an 8.5 out of 10 or something. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. And so the first episode comes and goes, and I was like, yeah, that was pleasant. That's the story. Okay. Then episode 2 rolls in, and unannounced and uncredited, Jeremy Irons shows up in a role, and he acts his ass off. Like, he is like Jeremy Irons, the Oscar-winning actor, like, writ large. There he is. He is, and it was so good that I went like, oh man, I almost didn't record the second episode because I thought the first one was fine, but the second one is like a home run. So I'm gonna keep watching it. I think it's only 6 episodes, maybe, but it's on PBS on Sunday nights. The problem with PBS is the on-demand app. I don't think it works in Canada. Maybe
Yeah.
there's some version of it. Maybe it's on Gem. It's possible that it's on Gem.
I
Sometimes that
have
happens.
seen it advertised, so I know it's available somewhere. It's
Yeah.
it might be Gem. I think that CBC probably licenses the PBS stuff. That would make sense. But yeah, I definitely saw that advertised, and it definitely piqued my interest because I like that story. I like
Yeah.
who was in the last movie? Guy, what's his name?
Oh yeah, Guy
Guy-
Pearce.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it.
That was good. I
It was good.
agree. That was a good movie too.
And it always reminds me of the Shawshank Redemption because he recommends that book. It's like you like it. It's about a prison break, and I like that. It is about a prison break, so it's a good book or good story anyway. All right,
Yeah, awesome.
I'm gonna I recommend an older series I've been watching on Tubi. Tubi is adding again. I keep going back to this. It's adding a lot more like older television, classic TV. I just saw a video about them adding a bunch of Saturday morning cartoons, like so you can go there and kind of recreate that experience if you wanted to. And this is one that was actually an AMC show that was on. I remember the ads for this when I was watching like Mad Men and like The Walking Dead back in the day. This is a show called Hell on Wheels. Did you watch this when it was on TV back?
I did.
Okay. So again, and I don't know why at the time it just did not appeal to me. Like, trains, who cares? I want to see the 60s advertising agency. I think it was paired with Mad Men, where it was like the next show or something like that. It was on back to back, but I was just not interested at the time. But now I've been kind of on a Western kick and watching more movies and TV shows that take place during that time period. So I'm interested in this area. And it's really good. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in, but it is a very, very good show. I was surprised at how good it is. And it's got a lot of great characters. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Bone Tomahawk, the movie.
Yeah.
For that gross part at the end. But the beginning of it, like with this, the town and there's not even a town. It's like a moving town because it's like Hell on Wheels is like the construction train for the railroad, right? This is a story about like them building the railroad out west. And it's got Anson Mount. It's got 2 Star Trek actors, Anson Mount as I can't remember his Bo Cullen or Bo Hammond, some kind of name like that, as he's the main character. Then you've got O'Brien. What's his name in real life? Cole Meany. Cole Meany is in there as well. And he is like the rich capitalist who's like funding this, and he's pushing them to get the railroad built. And so it's this really interesting situation. And of course, they're being attacked by indigenous people who their land they're invading, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. And I think it's actually a pretty good show for its time. Like I'm not sure where they're going to go with some of these indigenous characters, but this is a show that has indigenous characters at a time when not a lot of other shows were. Now it's much more common than it was like 10-15 years ago. So I'm really liking it. Hell on Wheels. It's a lot of fun.
I've got a real quick anecdote about that. That show is shot in Calgary.
Oh.
And one year we used to participate in the Big Rock Eddies
I remember.
advertising challenge. One year the students came in third for their video. They went to the film, they got flown down there for the film festival, and the judges included cast members from Hell on Wheels. So they met them. The big burly guy from Hell on Wheels, he was one of the judges. I can't remember that guy's name. He's a big burly man in the show. It's been years since I watched it, but
Yeah, there's a couple of big men, but I can't think of the person you're talking about.
one of the main characters, and for the life of me, it's been so long since I watched that show. It was on during Breaking Bad era, I think.
Oh
right?
yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Anyway, it's I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. So check out Hell on Wheels. You should just watch Tubi some more. I would definitely recommend checking out Tubi and seeing what kind of stuff you can find on there.
No, that's a good recommendation, and I need to do that. As I said, I only subscribed to it once to see a single thing, and that thing was terrible. As it turns out that the thing that I wanted to watch wasn't that good. So
I guess
I should give it another go.
all right. Okay, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Media Nerds. I'm Dan Vadebunker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the door hit you on the ass.